Hi guys, this is Ludwig. I'm now doing voiceover instead of adding, I guess, the typical subtitles. Hopefully you guys enjoy this format instead. Alright, so about this floor clearing, we're going to have like 13 bosses in a row. And they're all going to be tanky, unfortunately. So this floor clearing is going to be a huge challenge, even for veterans like me. And yeah, so let's look at this Cobalt boss first, and then this guy was the 400 boss from last time. He doesn't have the electrocute weather, and then he's just the old boss that we had that was untouched. Yeah, so I'm using Bride Suha here, and she has the advantage of being able to frame lock him off parry. A lot of the frame lock area units, as well as current 6 stars, they have the ability to frame lock these old bosses, even off parry. So definitely use those to your advantage. And for this title, I'm trying to play risk free, so I'm dodging basically all of the fast parries. I'm dodging downwards to avoid all of his attacks. And as you see, well, it basically avoids every single of his moves if you dodge downwards. And I'm catching the, well, it's this parry in particular that I want to catch. For the rest, I don't really need to care about them, because I just want to play risk free. Now, one last thing is you'd like to pull the boss to the top of your screen, and it helps a lot when you're dodging, because I'm always dodging downwards, and then it's just really uncomfortable for me when I dodge upwards. Alright, so see you guys at 4 times 8 then. Alright, now we have the F80 Samurai, and I always mess up the beginning, but you're not supposed to stand too close and jump over the very tip of his horizontal slash. And then you see that pierce move, so for that pierce move you would want to be prepared to parry it, even if you're not in line, but that thing follows you. And for the Samurai, you want to prioritize parry. He uses parries a lot more than the unparryables, and his unparryables are relatively slow. There's a one big slash, so that one's easier to dodge, and then there's this small one, which you need to dodge downwards. And to see here, although I did pretty bad in the beginning, but I had Leafa here to fill me up, so it's all good. And as you see, I'm combining the Shokusuha, she does not have self-heal, with the Rod Leafa, and that basically gives Leafa enough windows to heal back up, because the Samurai is relatively slow. One more move to be aware of is stun, and whenever he dodges backwards, he's likely going to use his stuns, so either be prepared to dodge it or just parry it, as you see over here. I think it doesn't really do anything if you parry the first particle, and it only stuns him if you parry the second particle. I just avoid that altogether, and then it's going to be a long battle for me. So see you guys at the next boss. Okay, the Griffin. This is one of my favorite bosses. He's relatively easy, and then he's kind of like a parry bot. In the beginning, I walk up to parry, and that makes the first parry, the dash parry, a lot easier to take. And the rest, well, just be aware of how many autos you want to read them. And I usually just do one and then defend and see if he's going to parry, if he's going to give me a parry. And then whenever flies up and you don't see the red zone, you basically dodge behind his original position to avoid his lightning or his wind particles, whatever that is. So this boss is probably the easiest one out of the 12 in total. It's definitely possible to no damage run this guy. And you probably want to use your weaker units on him so that you can save your better units for later on. And we'll see you at the next boss.
悪く私たちの勝利ですね。始めましょう。
Alright, now we're facing the Crab. So the Crab is one of the more annoying bosses, and he likes to walk around doing nothing, and which really screws up your positioning. Not much you can do about that besides just be a little more careful. Auto once, walk back, auto once, dodge backwards. And against this boss, you probably prefer to prioritize dodging. There's this really quick parry that I don't really even bother to catch. For bubbles, you have to jump over them, or just dodge behind him before he releases the bubbles. And make sure that you don't get trapped at one end of the map like I just did there. And as you see, my dodge pattern would be just to dodge behind him, dodge behind him, dodge behind him. And that basically guarantees you, well, a slow but steady kill on him. Right, so patient is the key against this boss. And just wait for him to give the parries. And he's well, as all the bosses are in this floor clearing, he's slightly susceptible to frame lock. So you can definitely SSR him off parry. Again, this will be a very slow battle. Yeah, but the pattern is very stable. Just always try to dodge below him, and then if he's at the bottom of the map, try to pull him up. Alright, and see you at floor 86 then. Okay, so now we're facing a guy that's holding, I think that's a club. Alright, so the dodge pattern is dodge backwards and be prepared to parry right after you finish dodge. So basically what I just did here, except I didn't hold down fast enough. Alright, so dodge, parry, and well, this avoids first of all the stomp, and then it can also catch the longer parry right here. Starting from stage 2, I prioritize dodging downwards instead, and catching on, well, there's only one particular type of pattern that I'll be catching. So, like the rest of the bosses, he doesn't really hurt, and then I'm bringing in, well, his moves are also not too fast, so I'm bringing in a raw healer, just in case that I mess up very severely and then get low HP. So, not really much to say about this boss after that. So we'll see you at the next boss. Right, welcome back guys. Now we're fighting against King of Lakes. So this is one of the most annoying bosses in the FC for me probably. I just kind of cheated with Dark Alice. And well, she was a free character. And to dodge that water beam, I was supposed to dodge down, well, near the boss and downwards. And you'll see later that if I learn how to dodge it. Yeah, but basically he can't really kill you. And you just need to kite around. And eventually you'll kill him. So it'll take about like 5 to 6 minutes to kill him. No, not really worth watching. You guys can just, you know, see the pattern and then you can probably skip the next boss. Alright, then I'm out. See you guys at the next stop. Okay, now we're facing the guy with 2 heads. Against this guy, I would recommend to prioritize Parry. Most of his unparrables are slow enough, but his parrables are relatively fast. And then he likes to jump around a lot, so try to pull him to the top of the map whenever possible. Just like that. And then whenever he dodges backwards, I think it's guaranteed that he will use unparryable, so watch out for that. Besides that, it's relatively easy boss, and his patterns are very distinctive. His chains are slightly slow, you just need to dodge behind them to avoid those. It's mainly the hammers that are sometimes quick, sometimes slow. And you'll need to reactively parry that. Besides that, everything should be fine. And we'll see you at the next boss.
悪くありませんね。悪くありませんね。私たちの勝利ですね。
Okay, so hopefully you guys seen this dragon 10 times already and know how to deal with it. I recommend using ranged units, and so Alice, she's not a true ranged unit because she likes her accessory goes into melee range. If you have a true ranged unit, it's recommended to use against this dragon because he likes to dodge backwards a lot, and then he ends up doing nothing a lot of times when you're just accessorying him from very far away. Besides that, it's just a normal, well, I guess normal cheat run where he can't really kill you, so it's basically I just jump around and eventually kill him in 5 minutes. Alright, and see you after 5,000 combo then.
無駄です。絶好調だよ。行きましょう。前、花田。
We're finally near the top of the tower. So for the Santa Claus guys, when he's dodging backwards, he's probably going to give an unparryable. And this guy is basically a parry bot as well. And then every time you end an SS3, just be prepared to auto and parry as soon as possible. Right, and the only thing you'll need to dodge is, I guess, that one, and everything else is relatively slow. Right, so very similarly to the bosses before, I don't really regen off parry, I just parry and then regen afterwards. For sword I just attack 3 times and then jump auto attack a few more times. After that, well, be prepared to parry. So I messed it a few times, but it's not really a big deal. These bosses, they don't really do damage. So his moveset is very basic. If I had a little more time, or if I could run this guy more repeatedly, then probably he would be another boss that you could no damage run. Right, so there's not much else to say about this one, and then we'll see at 495.
Yeah.
Great, so now we're fighting against the Minotaur. This is definitely one of the harder bosses in this entire FC. And I'm using that Leafa a little aggressive here, so I'm using her one-hit shield a lot more than I should. But mainly what you want to watch out for is just auto a few times, dodge, auto up to I guess 2 times or 3 times at most, depending on his pattern. And just be prepared to dodge every time after your auto and prioritize dodging. As you might see, I'm going in, taking only 2 or 3 autos, and then I just dodge back out. Now I just need to maintain focus and make sure I don't mess up too hard, and you will be dead soon. One thing to be aware of is just to not walk too much upwards because I'm dodging downwards. He has this one-hit ability that's really wide, and then it's going to be impossible to dodge if you walk too high. And that's the breakdown of this Minotaur. Hopefully you guys seen this guy around 10 times already. And let's get to the next boss. finally we see the Reaper. All the Reaper bosses are pretty annoying, and then this is probably, well, the most hated boss in the entire Sword Art Online memory frag. But as you see, he is a parry bot, and then you should prioritize parrying a lot. And I usually just do one auto and then be prepared to parry already by then. The only unparryable that you want to dodge for now is the huge slash, which you can jump over. Unfortunately, they're both after the teleport, so you have to decide whether to parry or whether to jump after a teleport. If you have mitigation, well, except Leafa in particular, it's best to use it on this boss. And 499, well, the Reaper, he does a lot of damage, not like the other bosses who barely take gold. Maciness or ranginess would also likely work very well, except for the fact that you actually have to parry after he teleports. For the teleport, then parry, you have to parry as soon as he appears, but not before you see him. And then for this area Y move, you should jump, well, you have to first of all back off from the slash itself, and then you jump when you see him hit the ground. It's possible to ignore the entire teleport moveset just by dodging towards the bottom of the map. And if you want to play it that way, it will take a lot longer, but it's definitely less risky. So hopefully that helps you tackle this boss. See you at the top. Alright, so typical Skull Reaper, he only offers one type of parryable, and he has a lot of moves that could break your stance, break your movement. So basically the only way to kill him is either mitigation or self-heal unit. I've also seen people use ranged units against him. It will take a very long time, or unless you really understand his pattern very well. So against the Skull Reaper, you want to make sure that your mana is always near the max. And when we're fighting Heathcliff, he's going to be able to cancel mitigation and cancel combo, so you want to always keep your mana near full. Unfortunately, not much skill to this play here. So let's jump to 143 when we actually meet Heathcliff. Alright, so we're keeping our 200 combo, and then he'll always give this parry. Make sure you utilize his parry well. I only did 2 accessories, but in fact I should have done it 4 times right on him while I still have the 200 combo. It will help you a lot when you're killing him. And his accessories are actually pretty easy to dodge. You just need to walk towards one end of the map or dodge behind him. And again, make sure, well, if you're using mitigation, make sure that your mana is always near full, so that you always have another mitigation buff to use right after he cancels it. So he also has a move that will parry your attack. To avoid that, you can use ranged units against him, such as the Dark Alice that I used before. I think she would be pretty good against this Heathcliff. And again, another relatively easy to dodge accessory. Yeah, so if you want to regen, make sure that he uses his move first, then you go behind him and all attack him. After he finishes an SS3, he will most likely use direct parry on you. It's not guaranteed though, be aware of that. Hopefully this guide has helped you, and I'll be continuing to making these kind of guides in the future. Also, please check out my ranking runs. Alright, and this is Ludwig. Hope you guys enjoy the day, and see you.
Take